Vande Gurunam Charanarvinde Vande Sorry, let me set right my throat. Vande Gurunam Charanarvinde Sandharshita Swatma Sukhava Bodhaye Nishreya Jangali Kayamane Samsara Halahalam Davanalam Moha Shantyai Vande Gurunam Charanarvinde O lineage of gurus, yogis, saints, you have given us the technologies of observation to become an observer and to remove that duality. Why that removal of the duality? Because of the dual nature in me. Sometimes I am like a human, many times I am like an animal, reacting in fight and flight mechanism. And everything around me is burning me. I do not know how to handle it. I am reacting. Now coronavirus is threatening me. Halahalam Davanalam Unknown existences, unknown threats, and unknown stock markets fall down, businesses collapse, and relationships break, and virus comes, heart is broken. Unavoidable these things are. And in this universe, nothing questions these events, adapts to these events. So also, O teacher, give me the technologies of observation to handle, how to handle the threats effectively, how to remain in absolute peace, calm, quiet, with a balanced mind. Let me not behave like an animal. Let me leave that animal in me. Let me be a human with human qualities. O teachers, my early morning salutations to your lotus feet. That is the meaning of that sloka. That's given by the great teacher called Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya, there is no mountain, Dasharanya. Dasharanya virajitam punyanadhe pravahitam. India is considered as, in India there are the 10 great forests and there are 7 great mountains. One among those mountains is called Sri Shaila, which is in my state. And so there is no mountain in which Shankaracharya not meditated. There is no forest in India, Dasharanya, the 10 great forests, where Shankaracharya not meditated. From Kedarnath to Kanyakumari, you will find. Way back in 8th century, Shankaracharya travelled across length and breadth of India. And why? It is not to disseminate the knowledge, it is to seek the knowledge, it is to practice. He knocked the door of every cave, knocked the door of every guru, whomever he came across. And he was a seeker, and he went on learning. And that's how, and he had a complete idea of what is spirituality. And he like representing the Patanjali, and Patanjali, from Patanjali down the Patanjali, and you can trace the lineage down to Shankaracharya, Mandukacharya, and Gaudapadacharya, Govinda Bhagavatpadacharya, like this. You can trace the lineage from Badrinath to, and from Sringeri, you can trace the lineage. So this shloka, when Shankaracharya was meditating in Sri Shailam, mountains, those 7 great mountains, Saptakula Achala, the one a mountain doesn't move, Achala. Himalayas, they don't move. The higher the mountain, they are stable. So when you are on something stable, and which is stable for a long time, so when the earth formed, the mountains formed. A rivers change their directions very quickly, and geography changes very quickly. But what doesn't change on this terrain is the mountains. That's why in India, mountains are worshipped. If you want to carry the legacy, if you want to leave your traces of vibration, as I said, so we are conductors. We are conducting bodies. So if electricity shock is given to the toe, your entire body gets the shock, isn't it? So that is an indication you are a conductor. Understand? It's not that you are a non-conducting body or insulating body, lifeless. No. Wherever life is there, there is electricity passing through it. And it is a conductor. What is making this organism live is continuous production of electrons, electricity. And the continuous production of electrons inside, what is it producing? Mitochondria produces these electrons. It charges, they are the powerhouses. And those powerhouses feed the cell membrane around it. And cell membrane around it. Say it is a cell. So it is a cell. So different shapes of the cells. I am taking this cell. Neuron is also cell. Ordinary cell, something resembling like a neuron cell too. An ordinary cell we will take. So this is how this is called, So membrane, this is called bilipid membrane. Here the lipids, here the lipids. Even virus also has a bipipid layer. And coronavirus also has this lipid membrane. What it does, and what is this lipid membrane does inside? It is like this. And it has bodies, heads, static heads. It is the mechanism of, like your UPS in your house, it is something like that. It is like this. It is like this, it is with the heads. Like this. What is biped layer, what it does? So you have somewhere the nucleus, chromatin layers. In this you have your main server called DNA, Then you have RNAs, Here and there RNAs, different mitochondrial RNA, different ribosome RNA is different. So many RNAs are there. So it has 3.2 billion files. And other files in this, so there are 6.4 billion files. All files of your transcription translation, gene expression. Your gene expression, you are nothing but all the time what is played down at the DNA level. That's called gene. When you are laughing, when you are crying, it is nothing but a gene expression. So what a yogi does, he permanently changes the gene expression. You need to understand what a human can do, what a meditation can do, not the gene, but gene expression can be changed. No one can change the gene. Gene has come. The DNA, you are already born with the vehicle. But that vehicle has certain defect. And you can never correct the defect. But knowing the defect, you can manage the vehicle. You can, if required, that vehicle is not where you can tow the vehicle. You can tow the vehicle. So if you know where the problem exists, suppose your clutch is somewhat loose or your brake is loose for your vehicle. So when you are driving, so you know you have to apply extra pressure. It doesn't mean little bit brake is loose, immediately you don't stop driving. So anything you take, so it has certain defects. So we are also having certain defects. Now right now our immunity is not sufficient. But still, if you can strengthen your immunity, so you are protected. And this is most important today is protecting our immunity. So these mitochondria and that protecting DNA is called methylation. Okay, some gene is not working. If you methylate it, if you give that methylation nutrition to it, and still that problem won't affect you. It can be a Down syndrome, it can be autism, etc. This is called Nutrigenomics. This is the latest emerging field of the nutraceuticals. So in the functional nutrition, you have nootropics, so which works in the brain, and now you have which corrects the DNA, which methylates, and which form of methylcobalamin or hydroxycobalamin or cyanocobalamin. You see, you have 6 kinds of the cobalamin, but your body uses the highest amount of the body contains hydroxycobalamin. Cobalamin is very, very important, involved in methylation process. Apart from, you only know, it is responsible for B12, is responsible for a hemoglobin. But you need to understand. And someone is saying, we are carriers of the blood, we are carriers of the iron, we are always influenced by the gravity. We are always influenced by the full moon day, a black moon day. As the gravity changes around you, as electromagneticity changes around you, your emotions, your health changes constantly. So cobalamin has so many functions to do it. It is also one of the very important. That's why you have a form of methylcobalamin. Though you give the methylcobalamin, but methylcobalamin will be used in the body as again it undergoes a process, metabolism, and methylcobalamin chain, when you look at again, it has to be converted into hydroxycobalamin only. For example, you are using a cyanocobalamin. Problem with the cyanocobalamin is, when you use cyanocobalamin, which is cheap little bit, sometimes it is useful. But cyanocobalamin when you use, and it releases, and cobalamin, and it reduces hydroxycobalamin, plus it realizes a cyanide molecule. What the cyanide molecule does, hydroxycobalamin produced in your body is consumed by the cyanide molecule. So with the result, your B12 will not increase. So suppose you are taking methylcobalamin, but still your B12 shows less, it means the form, in which form you are taking is not right. So you have to check which form. Similarly, for example, magnesium. Magnesium drives 300 enzymatic reactions in you. And the magnesium, and not even a single magnesium works. You need if a good magnesium supplement means it should be a bioproduced or chelated. These are called chelated. Chelated. With chelation, magnesium citrate and magnesium ascorbate, magnesium glycinate, magnesium gluconate, magnesium bisglycinate, Magnesium orotate. Have you seen? Which form? Do you think, especially magnesium? It is a mineral involved in almost all the biochemical reactions in the body. It is one of the very, very important molecule. Mineral everyone knows. But if you take all the form, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, another 2 forms. If you take the 6 forms, 8 forms of the magnesium, then it gets absorbed. Each one of them do become a catalyst in a different, to run a different kinds of the biochemical reactions. And you are under the delusion, hey, you have a magnesium in here. You should know that the earth, now the present vegetables, etc., the magnesium content has come down a lot in last 100 years because the same land we cultivate, thinking that you are getting all the minerals, all the vitamins in your produce. So, and number 1 is that. Number 2 is if they are getting absorbed into the body, whether your digestive systems, whether you have all the digestive enzymes in you, and do you have all those nutrients in you to use those nutrients in the vegetables is a question. That's how the Nobel Prize went in 2016 and 2007, 2000 for protease discovery, for autophagy discovery, for lysosome discovery. The first Nobel Prize went to lysosome discovery, and next it went to proteasome discovery. Next it is intracellular detoxification pathways. Now when some virus is prevailing around you, what is generated in us? So much of debris is generated. Body is fighting. Soldiers are fighting. So many dead bodies are created. An enemy dead body or a soldier dead body is a protein molecule. And that protein molecule has to be recycled and it has to be converted into a protein. It has to be converted into a peptide. The main challenge in combating your body defense system with any enemy around you, any enemy around you, whether it is a virus, you say, virus, what is a coryza or what is a cough, what is a common cold? It has more than 30 kinds of the viruses, organisms in it. Never it is a single. And coronavirus also a part of it. It is all the time body is fighting it. And body developing immunity is good. Body developing an immunity. So suppose you are entering into an endangered zone. You are entering into an endangered zone. And when you enter into endangered zone, means where microbial population is very high. So your system needs to have a robust immunity. Means the dead bodies of the dead protein is very high. Means your ability to recycle, you need to have that extra digestive enzymes to remove it. In order to remove it, people told to do the fasting. Oh, you have a fever. Oh, you are sick. Don't eat full. Eat less. Because the digestive enzymes have to be used for conversion, intracellular digestive enzyme, extracellular digestive system. When your immunity system has to be strong, when it is fighting a disease and you are in exigency, you are in a crisis management, so you have to allow and entire nutrition to entire digestive enzymes. Now it is all about enzymes, microbes in the intestine. Your microbiota in the intestine. It is all about gut health now people talk about. More than that is the enzymes. Body, so far more than 5,000 enzymes identified in the body. Enzyme means a catalyst. Without enzyme, no biochemical reaction happens. Every enzyme is a protein molecule, understand? Every enzyme is a ligand. Ligand means ability to give the electrons. Enzymes are only produced when your body is pH is, so oxidation reduction potential is around minus 350 minimum or minus 250, minus 100. It should never be 100 cell potential is. So it indicates electron-rich environment. So your immunity is abundant. So understand that all the time. So when body is fighting out, so much dead body debris is created. So what is autophagy? Why this metabolism has come down? So people, why Nobel Prize is given? They found the cell is not in a position to clean its debris because for millions of years we ate only 1 meal a day, only 2 meals a day. Maximum 1 meal a day too. A lama or anyone eats only 1 meal a day at around 11 o'clock. Even today in the Jain tradition, a Jain monk, only 1 meal a day around 11 o'clock. Even 12 o'clock crosses, afternoon crosses, they don't touch. It's called Vikala Bhojane Peramane Samadhiyami. So, a monk which he has to follow. Vikala Bhojane, untimely meal. A monk always have one meal, 11 o'clock in the morning. So remaining all period, why? So your system has to, whatever you have given input, so it has to recycle completely. And every day you are generating a dead mass of 70 grams of protein almost. This is equivalent to, so you have 70 trillion cells. The 70 trillion cells, each cell has its own lifespan. And average every day, every second, so 15 lakh cells, 1500,000 cells, every second dying in your body. Cells die in your body constantly. Means what? These 1500,000 cells die every second, and 1 hour 3600 seconds into 24 hours. And as I told, a cell is dead means a protein matter is generated. That protein accounts to 70 grams. And your body is a fantastic a factory. A mind-blowing factory it is. So the dead matter is processed by proteasome and first level, all the protein digestive enzymes, and then autophagy, protein chaperones, and then followed by whatever is processed, first pre-digested and pre-processed, then it goes into suicidal bag called lysosome. Lysosomes are bags, and in this bag you have acidity 2.5 to 4.5 pH, high acid inside the cell itself. So anything falls in this, it gets completely processed, digested. Protein is metabolized, and this protein, it converts into amino acids. And these amino acids and goes to endoplasm, stored in endoplasma reticulum smooth. It is another organism inside the cell. So endoplasma reticulum smooth. And your peptide production factory, your cell repairing factory, this protein has to be converted into that protein can be converted into ribosome, it can be converted into repair DNA, it can be converted into RNA. That protein is required to produce mitochondria in your cell. That protein is required for everything in your cell because it is a building material for a cell. What you are made with? You are made with the protein, you are made with the fat. You are not made with the carbohydrate. Carbohydrate is only a fuel which runs this vehicle. Your vehicle is not made with the gasoline. Your vehicle is made with the steel, and vehicle is made with the plastic at the end, or little bit glass over there. So also our body is made with the protein, and your cell. So what it does, these are all amino acids, and to convert into a peptide, now you have seen the 70 grams of amino acids produced, provided if you have all the digestive enzymes inside. Suppose now you dump all the time, morning, afternoon, evening, you go on dumping, and cell doesn't have time to clean, doesn't have time to accumulated protein. Is called a defective protein, and the cell volume is occupied by that garbage. It doesn't have place. And when certain volume exceeds, the cell executes its death programming. and it executes senescence, anti-senescence. Senescence means quick aging, because cell knows, oh, I am not getting resources, so dirt is accumulating. Suppose, say, in your house, so much of garbage accumulated. Can you live? Now, say it is the coronavirus period, municipality is not coming, and so to collect your garbage generated inside. Say, for example, entire garbage is left in your house, and no one is there to collect. Your house stinks. The same thing happening inside the cell. Stink is getting accumulated, and we are have a callous attitude. We don't want to remove it. We dump breakfast, we dump lunch, we dump supper, irrespective whether it is used or not. And the poor thing, and every undigested fat molecules, undigested carbohydrate, undigested nanoparticles of, all the nanoparticles when undigested, not completely finished, unmetabolized, and this protein generated inside, it becomes function. Your autophagy, your proteasome, and your lysosomes they only have to clean the mess. They only have to dissolve it every day. You are not giving the cell enough time to clean. That is how intermittent fasting has come into the picture. That's how people are talking about now alternate day fasting, 5 plus 5 days, plus 2 days fasting, or the best method is called, so for your cell to clean, it takes minimum of, so it is identified now 16 hours. Means between 16, night, evening, because night time you are completely relaxed. So when you are completely relaxed state, all growth hormones are there. So the conversion of this protein, detoxification of the protein happens very effectively. That's why night you have a supper early, and night supper to your main meal again. So during the daytime, so you have to give a 16 hours. Say night 8 o'clock you have a meal, night 8 p.m. you have a meal, and give a 16 hours of the gap. And so morning 8 a.m. 12 hours, so you are eligible to eat 12 p.m., 12 noon, your lunch should be. And say you had 9 p.m., your meal, night meal, your supper, then 1 o'clock you are eligible to have. Then what about breakfast, sir? Fasting only has to be broken. Why? Because to restore, to strengthen your digestive enzymes, so you have to eat food only which supplies enough enzymes, enough transcription factors, translation factors. That's why we are told to have morning, what we are supposed to have, morning breakfast, fruit, citrus fruit. Why citrus fruit is having minus 260 ORP, millivolts, ORP, oxidation reduction potential. So it's up. Why? Because of the enzymes, because of the electron donor capacity is very high. So when you eat a ripened citrus fruit in the morning, sufficient enough, 100 grams, say 200 grams, you eat it. And fruit you are not eating for energy, fruit you are not eating for, you are eating for nutrition, number one. Number two, you are eating for digestive enzymes, translation factors, transcription factors. So that, and no coffee, no milk. You can have decoction. You can have black tea. You can have black coffee. You can have herbal tea. You can have nutrients you can supply to process. Finished amino acids. So you say a cell needs to convert the 70 grams protein and generate amino acids into peptides it has to produce. It requires more than 120 nutrients. In these 120 nutrients, if any nutrient is not there, and what the next cell is produced is compromised. That is what we call aging. Our system is designed to live for 120 years. Why it is terminated at 80 years itself skin is sagging? Why at 90 years itself is aging? So your vehicle is designed for 120 years, and by 50 years, 60 years itself it aged means what? You have overused it, you have abused it, or you have not taken care of it. If you only give what it requires, frankly speaking, and we all live healthy, like in Okinawa, like in Hunza Valley in Himalayas, or like in Tibet, like people live, they have only 1 meal a day. And like people in Tibet, like people in Himalayas, Their longevity is very high, 140 years in Hunza Valley. It's not a joke, it's not a joke. And Hunza Valley extends. It is in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, down into the Kashmir. I lived in those zones. And very excellent, rich culture. So dead terrain, dead environment, but still people live. And similarly, in Japan, in Tibet, you can see people live 100 years, 120. It's not because of the climate. It's because of the disciplined culture of 1 meal a day. They have abundant enzymes in them. So, and they are always no fight or flight mechanism. The main thing is, someone is telling me, sir, night my sugar is okay, in control, but daytime, sir, why my sugar is going up? When I get checked, all parameters are okay, sir. Huh? Why do you know? Your tension, your anxiety. And when you are a tension, anxiety, a fight and flight mechanism triggers. And fight and flight mechanism releases glycogen. Why am I telling you now? Not to tense, not to excite yourself. Now, if you are watching a movie now, sitting at home, some fiction movie, some horror movie, you are watching some fighting movie, what's happening? And you are also inside fighting. And inside generating the emotion, your liver dumps in order to, it senses the danger there, fear in you, anxiety, tension in you. So you need so much of energy at that time. That's why liver releases the glycogen. Your intracellular glycogen is first depleted, and then the glycogen from the liver is dumped. So your body stores only one kind of the carbohydrate your body stores, that is the glycogen, 500 grams. And in this 100 grams is in the cells. And 400 grams is approximately in the liver. Or 100 grams is in the liver and 400 grams is in the cell. Now the intracellular glycogen is depleted. Your liver is dumping. And one glycogen, it is a polymer. It is equivalent to it is 14,000 glucose molecules. It is a polymer. Say one glycogen molecule is released, and your blood sugar, 14,000 glucose molecules, your blood sugar shoots up like this. And the sugar spike in your blood causes enormous amount of inflammation. When you say triglycerides, LDL cholesterol, all these modern diseases, when you say including lack of immunity, is called inflammatory disease, metabolic B disorder. Metabolism is compromised completely, has come down. Inflammatory disorders, all these 45, including cancer, arthritis. Now you name any obesity, you name any disease today, it is considered as a lifestyle disease. Inflammatory disease, lifestyle disease, metabolic disease. What is there in the name? You see, the catch point is inflammation.